Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in on how to decipher what is known as narcissist tells. I don't like the word narc, but narcissist tells, psychopathic tells, interpreting the sort of manipulation tactics which arise from depersonalization or objectification. When you objectify somebody, you're essentially reducing them to an object status, that they are essentially a prop in the environment. They are a source of supply. They are objectified. We hear about sexual objectification where somebody basically reduces you into a piece of meat. We hear about, the meat market where people are sexually objectified. They're seduced into just being sexually attractive, and they're not really gotten to know the person on the inside or their true reality, their true values, experiences. This is what we call sexual objectification. And this can be done through erotic pictures. This can be done through erotic movies. Yes, all of this has its place with a lot of healthy relationships, but when it becomes excessive, it can become really sexual objectification, sexual abuse, very demeaning, and it can create a real source of shame and embarrassment and humiliation, which is hard to recover from, especially if it's being used against you, if it's being turned against you. And the narcissist tells, the word salad, these are various ways, statements that the narcissist will really sort of test the water, see if you're onto them, see if they can continue to violate your boundaries. The psychopath also will very much kind of fall from their mask, fall from grace, and you'll get a glimpse beyond that mask. And this is not just a matter of, letting your hair down at the end of the day. It's really when you see that there's really a deeply disturbed person underneath the facade that they are putting forth. And by deeply disturbed, I don't mean, this person just has a little bit of anger underneath, or, they're covering up an inferiority complex. I'm talking about a very dehumanized experience, a very dehumanized person, a person that really does not have a humanity about them. They have a very sort of cold, deliberate, sort of abusive, exploitative personality or drive underneath, which is very severe, criminal oftentimes in nature, and malicious in intent. So oftentimes the narcissist and the psychopath will kind of clue you in, or they will do certain things that seem kind of odd, a little bit off, a little bit different, that gets your attention. But if you're in the love bombing phase, you tend to ignore it, you tend to make excuses for it, you tend not to listen, you tend to sweep it under the rug, and you just shrug it off. And then, but as you continue on in the relationship with them, you either notice a pattern that this person displays certain emotions that are inaccurate for the setting. They do not have emotions that would be proper for a setting. So again, this disturbance of affect, which you say, gosh, usually most people would be really upset by this, and you're not even flinching. Most people would be riled up, and you are, you have no emotional connection to this situation whatsoever. And it's different than just keeping cool, calm, and collected. It's when this person is really not moved whatsoever. There's no feeling. There's zero conscience. There's zero emotional connection to it. They could care less whether something very important happens. They're very much divested emotionally from the experience, where most people would have some emotional sort of feeling, connection, or empathy. So the narcissist tells can also occur in what we call word salad, where it's just kind of a out of context jumble of statement that really alludes to really where they're coming from. And so you will see this mask slip. You will see these statements, odd behaviors that really stand out to you, that make you think, okay, what is this person setting me up? Are they communicating? Is it like a covert communication that they're doing with me or with somebody else? Because they tend to do that. especially in the psychopathic realm, they tend to communicate with others in very sort of telltale code, if you will. It'll be kind of a unique signature to them, whether it's an initial, whether it's a sort of, I want to say a vandalism, a certain thing that they'll do in their environment. And by vandalism, I mean they'll put their initials places. Even adults, they'll scratch their initials in the building, in the floor, in the house. They will do strange things. Strange is not a good word to describe it, but perhaps idiosyncratic things with items in their environment, objects of clothing, they might take from you and put in certain places, and this is, again, it's kind of a narcissist tell. It's letting you that they're revealing a certain part of their relationship or their personality to you to see if you can pay attention. And so when you hear these statements, this, depersonalization, where they might, always call you by a nickname. They might, and then it might just kind of look at you as if to kind of like chuckle at your reaction. This is a narc tell, a psychopathic tell, that they're not really genuinely communicating with you. They're testing the waters. They're revealing to you to see if you can kind of pay attention. It's almost like they're making fun of you, to see if you'll notice that it's all a charade, all a game. And then what ends up happening is the person who's in a relationship with them will really genuinely want this nickname. They want to believe in the relationship. They want to believe in the illusion of this perfect mate. They want to believe in the fantasy of all the romancing that they have created, this charisma, this, euphoric fantasy type relationship, and they want to continue it. So they want to, perpetuate that lie, despite the narcissist tells. They will say certain things about their family or your family that will reveal their true stance on it, and then they'll be able to test you. So look for, strange nicknames, communication patterns, strange statements out of the blue that really kind of hit you, or wrong, I would say erroneous, not meaning wrong, but inappropriate expression of emotion for a circumstance. For example, their dog was put to sleep and they don't really care. They're late for their kids, they're screaming and crying, and they don't seem to really care that their kids are suffering. They'll use certain things in their environment to sort of, use statements that hypersexualize or distort the meaning of things through various statements that seem really odd statements. These are narcissist tells where they're revealing their personality to you, their drive, and they'll tell you things like, I've got ice water running through my veins, or I am dangerous. They'll tell you, I have sublimated other relationships, or I'm very secretive, or I'm like an onion. And they'll not do it and I want to share this with you, but they'll do it in a very sort of telling way just to see, and then they won't elaborate it on it. So it's like a very short sort of statement. So, these quips oftentimes are narcissist tells, and so learn to pay attention to these, and so that it can help you validate your experience of why you're feeling so uncomfortable, so exposed, and really a feeling of shame and disempowerment in the relationship, because it's someone who is different in nature. This is someone who's different than your ordinary individual, and so that's why you're having an extraordinary experience. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.